Simply, and I'm opinionated. Can you guess what gaming theme tune I was trying to do there?
No.
Oh, that was so anticlimactic. It was from Super Mario World.
Oh, okay, sorry. Again, uncultured fuck.
Yes, filth. So today we are going to be doing someone that's suggested this as well through Simply Side pet peeves, which we all have some pet peeves to some extent to the other, even if it's just like minute ones or heavily ones. And like, obviously, other people also have like their own odd habits. To some people that are so awkward to them, they are then considered as pet peeves. But why don't you start us off then with your personal pet peeves?
I've just got to do this because he didn't let me off last time. You forgot to mention the episode number.
It's episode 8, isn't it?
I think it's 9 at this point, isn't it? Is it 9? We should really know.
It's episode 9. No, it's episode 9 because the last episode was
8. How math works.
Perspective. So yeah, we're officially on the last single digit in history. So yeah, they will be hitting double digits next. Yeah, so we're making marks anyway. It's because you haven't released the video on YouTube. That's why I forgot.
Oh yeah, blame me. Here it is.
Of course, I gotta shift the blame somehow.
Just a quick one, and that's for people, by the way. Episode 10. We did say we're going to try and get a guest on for the 10th episode. So if anyone would like to come on and talk about anything for 2 hours and ramble about crap like we do, let us know in the comments, or just message us on Discord, Facebook, whatever.
It would be probably more helpful to us if you did it on YouTube comments. However, DMing us in our Discords will also be like much appreciated. And like, just before you just like spontaneously say yes and just type it down, just think to yourself, can you be in a podcast environment? Because I know it just sounds like easy to middle-aged blokes talking bollocks, but you know, you have to keep up a certain, you know.
Now less than middle-aged. Jesus Christ.
in what you made me do before this podcast, I feel middle-aged. So.
Oh, okay. So I'm getting Mike into my workout schedule, and that's what he's on about. If people aren't understanding, so he's a bit exhausted. Is that the correct word? Are you that tired? I don't know. Anyway,
I'm going to use the word obliterated, but yeah.
Right, it's 23 minutes. I'm already going off topic. So, I forgot what we were talking about already. Right, so it's habits and
pet peeves.
Pet peeves. That's it. My brain's dead.
Pet peeves.
It's because I spent.
This is a great start, Bob.
It is. I spent the last hour editing the old ones though, so I'm just completely convoluted with it all. So right, so pet peeves. My personal top of the line was annoying thing that people do around me. It's when they chew their food extremely loudly. Now, I don't know if anyone else listening to this is bothered by this, but I do not want to hear you digesting your food while you're eating it, because when you, I apologise in advance, so this is a warning for anyone that just want to hear this, but when you hear someone going down oh my God, it just makes me not want to eat my food. You know, if I hear that in the room, that's like my main one is that. But I know some people have like really weird ones, and probably like for a random habit. I suppose this episode we might even name it pet peeves / habits, because we can talk about both in a way. Then I guess. I have a weird habit. For some reason, I decide to eat left-handedly. I don't know why. I've done this from a child. That's probably my main one that I always get like pointed out on.
So you only eat with your left hand?
No. You know how like the way you have your knife and fork. I have it the wrong way around, like as if I was left-handed, even though I'm right-handed. But I eat like I'm left-handed, and I can't physically do it the other way. My body just like no. So that's one thing that I do that's a bit weird. I don't know if you've got any strange habits like that people have mentioned.
I think I do the same thing. Like you have your fork on the right hand side, right?
Yeah, because it's easy to stab, isn't it?
Yeah. I do that.
See, if you're right-handed, that's the wrong thing to do. But
Yeah, I know.
I used to get told off for that so much at school, like in primary school. And my mum always goes on about it when I eat. She's like, "You're eating the wrong way around." It's like, "But Mum, I'm nearly 30. Leave me alone."
Yeah, I use the fork with my right hand because I use my right hand with so many other things. Literally, if you chopped off my left hand, apart from gaming, my life would pretty much still carry on the same. It's weird.
Saying that though, it's weird though when you lose a function. How how much you miss having it essentially. You'd be shocked. But anyway, we're not here to talk about missing
Limbs.
limbs. What the fuck is going on there? Oh, this is going so well. Yeah, I don't know if you've got any. Have you got any others that you can think of?
Okay,
Mr. O, what annoys you about people where they do certain things?
I would say, and like I have stupid pet peeves, but one of the ones that annoys me, and that's probably the reason why I physically look like this, is I hate people wasting food. Like, you know, when like someone's having a dinner, but they haven't even eaten half of it, and you're just like, there are starving people in mud huts, right? Yeah, and you can't even finish your fucking omelette.
Yeah, he mentioned that this episode isn't out yet. It will be out in the next couple of days, but he did mention this in the last one about you was over at one of your friends' houses and then you told the child to eat the food because you didn't like seeing them waste food and things. But yeah, no, I'm a big one on that, especially because of the price of food recently. Jesus Christ. But
exactly. So it's annoying, and people just look at you just like, but I'm full. I'm not saying that you have to eat it now, but there's a thing called reheating. There's a thing called microwaves. You know, it's just like little things, you know? It's just like, I just can't stand. I won't force myself until I'm like bloated. I will stop eating something and then eat it at another period of time. But that's why you got like containers and stuff, so you can keep it stored. That some people, I've seen literal people not even eat half, and they pick it up, go towards the bin and just scrape it off. My heart dies when I see that. I'm just like, it annoys me. It really triggers me so badly.
They'll do that and then go and eat crap afterwards as well.
Oh yeah,
my daughter does it all the time. I make her a nice dinner, you know, meat, veg, all like a perfectly healthy, balanced dinner. She'll eat a bit of it, go, I'm not hungry. I mean, I know this is typical like child behaviour, but she'll do this nearly every time. Well, I get very shocked when she eats all of it, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" That's how often she does this.
Are you ill?
Yeah. Shall I call the priest or the doctor? Like, yeah, something happened. But yeah, so she'll say to me, "Oh, I'm full." So if you're full, that's fine, you know. And then she goes, "Can I go have crisps or sweets or whatever?" I'm like, "You're just doing that because you don't want to eat the healthy stuff." Like, how dare you? And then I've got to like chuck away like half a chicken, and it's just that does annoy me as well, to be honest. Another thing that I have a pet peeve with, I suppose, is people not being direct with you if they have a problem with you. I don't know how you feel, Jet, but I've always been, and I think you're pretty much the same as me in that regard, I imagine, where if you have a problem with someone, you'd rather just like talk about the issues. Because I find with a lot of things, when it comes to physical or verbal arguments, a lot of it can be prevented just by simply talking about the issues and then resolving it that way. And and then I get it. Some people just don't get along with each other. Do you know what I mean? Everybody isn't made to be friends with everybody else. Yeah. But talking about your differences and trying to work through it, there's no harm in that, you know. So that's my main problem, pet peeve, is because I'm trying to, you know, that's the point we're going on about, is when people. You've given them the opportunity to be like upfront about it and discuss it like an adult or something, and they don't take that, but then they go behind your back and like either message people about you, or they just say things that just quite frankly aren't true, rather than dealing with the problem adultly.
I think it's more to the fact that there's a lot of people these days, especially again, you could even connect the internet to this problem, is it's so much easier now to, you know, how someone like confides in you about something, and then that's all said and done, but I guarantee you, whoever you've confided into, that person that's confiding with you, unless you 100% trust them, will most likely tell another person because they don't know how to deal with you confiding with them, and then the third person will tell that person what to say to that other person.
That's a weird thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then that third person will tell them. But funny enough, that first person that told the second person, the third person would know the first person, so it's kind of like a different perspective of
brain hurty.
Yeah. I think more of my thing that I still don't get to this day is the assumption button. A lot of people assume, and they treat it as fact. Like, there are some people that would be like saying something that you do this and go, I've not done that. You are assuming that I've done that. So the thing is, I haven't done that. Have you actually seen me do the things that you say? And I'd be like, well, this, that, and the other, but that's not directly what you have just said to me. That is not even examples. It is just literal you trying to make mountains out of a molehill situation. There's no pure directness, as much as there used to be back in the day, because the internet, Chinese whispers, basically, I guess you could call it.
The one thing I blame for that is Twitter. Is the worst for that sort of stuff.
A lot of people just jump on the wagons of like things like and like even memes to a point. People take memes so seriously now, and they assume it's a feminist movement or something like a black rights, Black Lives Matter movement or something like that. You're like, dude, it's a joke. It's a joke. Why do you have to like literally go all PC on it? I guess I think one of my pet peeves, people take things too seriously.
Oh yeah, people can't have a joke nowadays. They're so eager to cancel culture people that comedians can't even be comedians anymore. I mean, perfect example of it was Kevin Hart, didn't he? He couldn't do the Oscars because of a joke he made like 10 years beforehand over Twitter or something stupid. That's insane. He's a comedian. Like, if anybody should be given a free pass to make a joke about something, it's comedians, because that's literally their job. That's the one thing that really bothers me as well, is the cancel culture side of things. It's such a stupid thing that's happened in the last few years.
Like, I get like how some comedians can take it too far. One top of my head, Frankie Boyle.
I was literally about to say Frankie Boyle. He's heavily racist, and it's really inappropriate. I get that. Yeah. But
then you've got people like Bill Burr, who I personally think is a great comedian. He does dig on like white people, even though he's white. He digs down on white people. He talks about black people. He talks about like white women and black women, and it's just like he does it in such a way where he'll get to the punchline, a really deep punchline, even by making jokes before that, and then he'll revert back a little bit, and he does it in such a way where everyone can just like recover from it, but he does it so well. But and then you got people like Dave Chappelle, who can go in pretty deep himself, but it's almost like he gets a free pass in some aspects because of his ethnicity. But the thing is, even with that, he does not care. He's literally on the line on the comedian spectrum, and he's like one of my favorite comedians. I love Dave Chappelle.
He's the go, pretty much.
Yeah, I saw him on Netflix, dude, and it made me. I laughed that hard.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah.
That whole thing about O.J. Simpson literally had me howling. Oh my god. But yeah. But yeah, this is the thing. Like, you can't even have a joke these days without someone being a fucking drama queen about it. Like, oh, woe is me, my heart bleeds because one called me, my shade of hair had a grey hair in it, and people are like, oh, you're getting a bit old now, and then they like treat it out like they shave their hair like Britney Spears and go, I'm part of the feminist movement now because you've noticed one grey hair, like something stupid like that, something ridiculous. It's called getting old, bitch. Get over it. At least you have the dye products.
You might say at least you have hair, you bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a pet peeve. People telling me that I'm bald. It's like, thanks.
Shit. No.
Observation skills.
You should just be really obviously shocked. Just like, shit, when did that happen?
I just make a big scene out of it and just it's just like literally going
there's
to
the next clickbait title of your next YouTube video. How I woke up and lost my hair, and it's this picture where you go, And it's just you've got to be full on serious in the whole video. He's completely shocked. Like I woke up this morning and it's gone.
And then you know how like one of those transitions where you hear other voice clips in the background and things like that. It's like, you're bald. Why don't you take your hat off? Is it because you're bald? And then all these things in the background, and it gets to that silent moment going, oh God, I'm bald.
And he starts playing I'm beautiful in the background. It's true.
Or crying in the shower. I just love the fact that people point out the obvious. And I know that it's like, it's almost like, oh, you don't know how to say a question, so you make out the most obvious statement points.
It's the low hanging fruit, isn't it? Essentially.
And it's kind of like, I'm sorry. I'm really am. I understand that sometimes trying to construct a sentence to ask a question, even though it might seem obvious and make you look stupid, that's fine. But here's another alternative. Why not ask the question? Why don't you just keep it to yourself? I mean, that's a perfectly good, an option that you can take, but no. Apparently, my bold physique has to be the interest of topic.
It's the thing. There's another thing that bothers me. You slightly touched on there. Is why do people feel the need to, like, for instance, I had a message of someone today who I've not spoken to. By the way, they're not a friend. They're like an acquaintance at best, right? So they haven't spoken to me for nearly 2 months solid. They messaged me purely to just start an argument about nothing. And it's like, why do people feel the need to just be toxic for the sake of being toxic? And this is where I said a little bit earlier how I think Twitter and generally social media in general, but Twitter especially, because of how short form it is and, how cancer culture it's got and toxic as shit it really has become in the last few years. It's just ruining the space of like social media as a thing. Before it used to be like Bieber, like, look, this is my favorite music. This is some cool photos. Now it's just like, oh, people are just slagging people off 24/7 for no reason, or just hating for just for the pure fact of just hating for the sake of it. And it's like, well, why did this person feel the need to go about his day, take the time to message me, and then just have a go at me for no reason? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, I've not spoken to you for 2 months. So what is this? I blocked them, obviously, because I made a vow like about a month ago, just before I started to become fit and hench, yeah. Part of that, like, new me, if you want to call it that, right? I was like, I'm not going to have toxic people in my life. I'm just going to simply cut them out. Simply tag.
Get out.
But yeah, because it again to do with the whole stress thing. We've talked about this before on previous podcasts, where I'm trying to just minimize my stress levels as best I can because it's healthier. Yeah. So if someone just starts being toxic, and is that perfect example with this person today, I've just removed them from the situation. It's like, I don't need to have you in my life. You haven't been in my life. Why are you now causing this stress for 15 minutes or whatever it's been? So you just remove it. But people do that a lot. They're just, people in the street will just start fights with people for no reason. It's just like, it's really weird. Like, I don't get it. Why is it? Why do people just feel the need to be knobs to people for no reason? I suppose you could call that not a pet peeve, but like an annoyance, I guess. It's just a similar sort of thing. But it's just,
I guess that we're going to hit that general area anyway. So because they're
it's more probably, because pet peeves, obviously, there's only so many. It's more going to be generally this podcast more around things that annoy us and then habits, and it's going to float around that sort of subject. But that's definitely a big one for me. It's just why some people feel the need just to be knobs for the sake of being knobs. I really don't understand. Why? Was it because they didn't get enough love as a child? Like, what is it? Like, I really don't understand. Because some of these people as well had like a lot better upbringings. Like, they had a lot, had a lot more opportunities. Their parents were a lot wealthier than other people. And a lot of the time, from my life experience, people with the shittest and the hardest upbringings normally are the nicest people, from what I've experienced. Like, who didn't have a lot of money, or they were a single parent family, or whatever it was, right? Whereas people that have been given everything are just the biggest dickheads. Like, I don't understand why that is. It's really weird.
That actually relates to another pet peeve I have. But before I do, this acquaintance of yours, can you at least give us an insight of what the subject matter was that they were trying to have a go at you about?
Yeah,
or is it?
I can do. Yeah. So I stopped talking to them for about 2 months ago because They were a member of my Discord. They never spoke in it, and then back a few months ago now, when we had a bit of an issue in the Discord with people leaving and stuff, and there was a bit of a internal staff situation, shall we put it that way, right? This person hadn't spoken to anybody to the point where no one knew who he was. He was in the Discord, but when people aren't active, so no one knows who they are because they never fucking speak. Yeah, so and this is the first thing he'd said in months to anybody. He was just shitting on the Discord for the sake of it. And like, this place is crap, is it? Everyone's leaving. It's so crap. All the rest, right? I was like, was there any need for that? Like, you didn't say morning. You didn't say how is everybody doing. So general nice topic. You could have just brought up anything to talk about. Like, what's the recent thing that someone's watching? Like I like to talk about TV shows that I'm watching. Like, I don't know, currently watching Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. It's a very good show. Go watch it if you're into Marvel. But that sort of stuff, he just felt the need to just be toxic for the sake of it. So I was just like, well, you're removed, and I'm sick of dealing with you because that's what he was always like. And I just got reached my limit with it, basically. And then he had said nothing to me for months. And then he messaged me like a week ago saying, how was my day been? I was like, fine. And then I thought maybe he's like learned his lesson or whatever. And then he just started being toxic again. I was like, I just can't. Do you know what I mean? I'm just done with it. So he was literally just shitting on my Discord for no real reason, because what he was saying as well wasn't even true. He was just trying to start an argument. He was trying to get a reaction, and I think he was annoyed that I just wasn't entertaining it. I just removed him and then deleted his comment, and then everyone in the Discord was like, what the fuck? Who's that guy? So he tried to do it again today. So I was like, I'm not playing your immature game, so I just removed him. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But some people are just like that. They just, rather than being encouraging towards someone, I don't. This is another pet peeve with me. If someone is doing something, because I've seen this a lot with a lot of my friends who are either they've started to try YouTube for the first time. Obviously, Mike's been doing it for a while, but this is other friends that I've seen do it like the last couple of years. They've started their own stuff. Whether they've tried to do, I personally started doing Twitch, or my friends have started trying to do it, or some of my friends have tried to do YouTube, or they've tried to start their own business, whatever it is, right? Any endeavor that they're trying to start doing, or a new hobby, whatever. Why do people? I've seen so many people just bash them for it because they're trying to achieve something that's either really, really difficult, like trying to become really big on YouTube, for instance, is nearly impossible now. Or they're trying to learn a new skill. Say they're trying to learn MMA or whatever, or learn a new language, or become a teacher and qualify as a teacher. Like, one of my friends is currently trying to become an electrician, and he's halfway through getting his qualifications. So he hasn't experienced any like people bashing him, but that's like another example of someone trying to do something. Whereas I've had so many people I've seen that have just bashed them and take the piss, and rather than just be encouraging, I don't get why people feel the need to belittle people and push them down with confidence rather than trying to build people up and be like, you know what, that's a really cool thing you're going for. I hope you succeed in it. Well done. Like, nice one for trying, because there's nothing wrong with trying, but we should be more positive towards people rather than people just shitting on the idea. Because it's really funny when it comes full circle. Because like, when, for instance, from my personal experience, when I first started doing Twitch, obviously when you first start doing it, you get like one viewer because you've just started and you've got no followers, and you've got nothing going on because you're just figuring it out. So I was getting, your streams are shit off people that I thought were friends. Obviously, that's how you realise who your real friends are. And just taking the general piss, because there's a difference between friendly banter and you just shitting on someone for the sake of it. Because if I'm not laughing, it's not a joke. Especially if you're doing it constantly. Do you know what I mean? You're just being a knob now.
Some people don't know when to stop, and then when you do either politely, which then some of them do, and then when that doesn't happen, and then you get extremely agitated, and then you bite back, and they go, whoa, I'm just joking.
Oh yeah, this happened. This happened to me when I was in town once. This person was constantly shitting on my Twitch for a reason, and I was also trying to start essentially like a side business with someone, and it was going quite well. And they were annoyed that I thought of the idea, I guess, and then was also starting to do fairly well with Twitch. So they were just shitting on me, and then I exploded them because I've had enough of it week in, week out. And then they were literally like that, like, whoa, why you exploded? Like, because you've just been a knob for no reason. And they didn't do it after that. I went a bit more aggressive than that, but I won't talk about it. But it's funny how it comes full circle, because the people that are shitting on you, you'll then see months or a year later wanting to follow you or support you, and I find it hilarious. It's like one of the people, literally a couple of weeks ago, right? I had a follow of someone on Twitch from one of the people that was shitting on my whole idea of trying to be a Twitch streamer. Like about a year ago, they were like, "Oh, you'll never get anywhere with that. You're shit. You're never going to be any good at it." And then now, because they've seen I've got over 400 followers, which isn't, it's nothing massive. It is to some people,
but it's better than some people, and especially when like it depends. Like you said, I'm in like the 350 mark now, and a lot of people have gone. You've gone up there pretty quickly, and I got affiliate in the first week, and I was like, it's because I had the backing on YouTube. But the reality is, I only gained about 60, maybe 70 followers, maybe even less than that. No, even less than that. Yeah, much less than that. So a lot. I think only about 10%, maybe 15% of the people from YouTube came to Twitch with me. So. But it shows that you've worked your ass off to get to the point where you are. It's the same concept of the YouTube. It took me quite a long time to get to where I am, and mixing with both, I can't stress enough. You're either gonna focus one more than the other. You can do both, but you are gonna focus more one on the other. There is no ways about that. But yes, sorry, carry on. I just wanted to put that in there.
It's fine. It's just more to say, so like, to me, obviously that's a big number, because like you literally nailed it on the head, because I worked my ass off for it. Whereas there's some people that get thousands of followers in like a week, but for whatever reason, right? Because there's some elements to luck and timing and game. As you already know, people on Twitch, it's a fucking wild park out there. So luck's a massive thing with Twitch, as well as like the equipment that you have and everything else. But once they'd seen that I'd had that follow account, and they saw what my average viewership was, because I think they joined a random stream once, and I was on like maybe 30 people that night particularly. They were like, "Oh wow," and then all of a sudden they want to be part of the cool thing that's going on. I'm like, "Excuse me, you were shitting on me like a year ago. What's this?" I just find it really funny. Obviously, I didn't say that because that'd come across like a right knob, but I'm not. I don't want to be like that to people. But I just kind of chuckled on the inside, and it's just funny. That why couldn't they have been supported from the beginning? They felt the need to, and this is my like philosophy, if you want to call it that, and why I think people do shit on people when they have like dreams and aspirations and ideas that they want to go and do something big, is because I personally feel if that person is so insecure about their own stuff and dreams and things that they want to do, aspirations and stuff. So if they shit on you and make you feel crap and bring you down. So much so that you don't want to do that anymore. They bring you down to their level. That gives them someone else who's also not doing their dreams and stuff, and it gives them a kind of solidifies why they're not doing it. It kind of gives them an excuse. Well, this person isn't doing it, therefore I don't have to do it. Because it's too difficult, rather than them actually having to put the work in and try and do something. Which I find that with a lot of people's attitudes, with a lot of things, even if it's going for like a promotion at work, people, you've got to put a bit of extra work in. People will just like, no, because it's, I might not get it, therefore there's no point trying, or whatever the reason, right? So that happens a lot. And one of the things I posted in the Discord today was like, it's only failure if you actually quit. If you keep trying, you haven't failed anything, because you're always going to improve. Yes, you have ups and downs. Twitch being a brilliant example of that. You will have up and down streams. Even sometimes for weeks end, you can have terrible streams. I've had terrible streams because I've picked the wrong game, or I've done the wrong time. Like for instance, I went from being a horror nighttime streamer to being a daytime farming streamer. Like it completely changed my audience, and obviously the numbers affected that, but it's slowly starting to sort itself out again, which is how people need to learn with Twitch. I think that it takes time. It isn't just click and you've got it. Which is
or you would just generally have bad days as well. Like even if there's something like a one that everyone knows you have, it could be the fact that Twitch is down and it's not working properly. It could be the fact that you have a bad day, and it's okay to have a bad day, because I literally recently had a bad day, and I was fine, and I wasn't mad, and I wasn't upset. I think I was just disappointed and like in myself, because I felt like other streams before, I've either understood why people wouldn't be there, And this one was just a complete chill and stuff like that, and barely, like, in comparison to others, it was a bit more of a lower step, which it did knock me down. One thing I will say, though, there's a lot of people that come in this for the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah.
If you are going to stream to think that you're going to make money out of this and be famous, you might as well not bother, because you're the kind of people that will give up in 1 to 2 months. Well, yeah, if you don't see immediate results.
You had a lot of these lockdown streamers, didn't you? That had this problem, which is why you have a lot of you see it a lot recently when people started going back to work. Every time I tried to raid someone during the day, there's literally no one streaming when there used to be loads, because everyone's at work again now. But that's just how it is, you know. People do it for, like myself and you. I started it for the passion of wanting to learn how to edit, and just simply have my games recorded somewhere, because Xbox didn't really have that facility at the time. Like, I know PS has like a recording thing, doesn't it, that you use for YouTube, whereas Xbox just didn't have that. I still don't think they do have that. So it was just a simple way to record my gameplay, and then it turned into, you know, as you learn more about it, you get more interested and you learn the different techniques and stuff. But what should we move on from Twitch, because we talk about streaming far too much as it is.
I was gonna say that actually gave me a pet peeve that I actually do generally have.
Yeah.
People not realizing effort put into something, and then you know that they've given off the impression either that they're not that impressed or they don't really care, and you're just like, are you serious? Like, I'm not looking for approval, for example, but for example, if we're gonna go and take a band, right? Take a music band, and everyone's just creaming over the vocalists and whatever. Yeah, but like, there's a bassist, there's a drummer, there's a guitarist. Just because they're doing the one that's singing doesn't mean they haven't put the time and goddamn effort into, you know. Because a band is a unit. They have to do the song. They have to do the rhythm. They could make this song together. So when people just focus on, like, oh, he's got great vocals, there's such a great singing voice, it's like, remember the rest of the band. You know, the hard work of them learning how to play the fucking instrument. And it's just like, I hate when people are just like really focused on one thing. Or when you've made a video for like hours and hours and hours, and people are just like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that because even though I used to watch it before, it's like it takes hours of editing, and some people would do, like a friend of mine who's got into, I'm not trying to dive into the streaming, but he actually had to connect his internet to another, because his internet was that terrible he had to rewire his whole thing just to make his internet work, and it took him about 2 months to get it sorted, because then he had to change company because that wasn't working, his original plan. So he had to do some other crazy extensional shit to do the effort that he put in. It was so impressive, and then everyone was just like, yeah, we'll come and help you, and then like literally no one did. No one saw the effort of his works. Like, you know, a lot of people put a lot of hours into stuff, and like especially with like bands and stuff, because like I love rock music, and I love the rhythm of bands that do well, like Muse, for example, Manic Street Preachers, the Editors, like even bands like Metallica and you know, Black Label Society, and even like one-off people like Ozzy Osbourne, you know, with their like actual names like Oasis, Beatles, whatever. I love the chemistry of bands, because to me that is more better than pop music, because a lot of people are just a bunch of auto tunes, which is like, and yeah, you just twerk for a while. We'll get money then, you know. We'll get money then.
What was that noise?
Yeah, that was them fixing the auto tune for Nicki Minaj. But yeah, it was. But like a lot of, like, when people put effort into something, like also like I knew a gardener who made this absolute beauty. Like someone like asked them to help him with their garden, and he said yeah, and it took about 2 months to get what she wanted, and it looked absolutely beautiful, because he showed me a picture. And you know what she did? After all of that, she refused to pay because it was not in her image. Even though she's the one that fucking sketched it. And you're just like, nah, you were just looking for a free ride. And you just like literally just devalued all that hard work just because you want to be a freeloader. It's like, wow. I'd like, yeah. Can I, pet peeve aside, if someone, it took effort to do something, at least have the common courtesy to give it a compliment, give it some like general feedback at least. If they've put time and effort into it, you would want them to improve, especially if they're like your friend or something, wouldn't you? So it's like, yeah, that's my pet peeve, like disregarding people's efforts because you either, even though when I'm not interested into something, like my mate was talking about something one of another, and it bored the crap out of me. But I know how much effort he's put into it, so instead of devaluing him and being like a short attention span prick, I actually tried to indulge and be more interested by learning, even though I was not initially interested. Not saying I forced myself, but at least tried. You know what I mean? Because that's what friends do. They try. So yeah, and then turns out it all failed in the end because he dropped that project. And I was like, oh, okay, so I put all that effort into it anyway. But anyway, the point stands. The point stands. The point stands, damn it. Yeah. People just need to have more effort. I can do a more humorous pet peeve.
If you like, yeah, go for it.
All right, so I have to have things in evens. Because, like, for example, so say if I'm having like a bag of sweets, like menstruals, for example, or Maltesers, I always have to at least finish with 2 and eat the 2 at the same time. Because for some reason, in the back of my head, and I think this came out when I was a child, I felt bad for the last one because I thought it would be alone.
Sorry.
No, I know it sounds ridiculous, but that is true. That has kept with me throughout my entire existence.
Wow.
Thus far. And honestly, I'll eat 1, then I eat 2, then I eat 1. I go into a pattern. It's weird, but I always have to. If there's I'll check. Sometimes I'll look into a situation that I even have to eat 3 at once if I have to. I need to have them together. Because they need to be together, it's cool. But it's weird. It's like some weird subconscious backing in the back of my head, and I'm just like, nom. And then one time, I didn't do that, and I actually panicked. Not full on fear panicked, but in the back of my head, something bad's gonna happen to me. Not now, maybe not tomorrow, but somewhere in my life, something really bad's gonna happen to me because this is the last one in. Honestly, I have those things. It's weird.
That's mild OCD, that is. That kind of thinking.
But it's a pet peeve when I see other people not doing that. It's why do you have to eat it all in such a basic manner, man? Invent yourself. Come on. It's
I have something like that with Maltesers where I have to eat the chocolate first. Is that... that's a weird habit that I have.
So you're more of a sucker than a biter?
That's basically what I'm getting. No, it'd be a biter than a sucker, wouldn't it? Because you bite the chocolate up and then you suck the biscuit goodness out.
Oh, wait, so when you say that, you mean outside, you pick this thing up...
You use your teeth and nibble the chocolate out.
You rip its skin off.
So it's basically just a ball of crisp, and then you let it dissolve on your tongue.
That's kind of dirty.
And you know what's even better? If you then take all the chocolate off and then drop that biscuit goodness in a cup of tea. Oh my fucking Christ. Anyway, so this is why I'm fat.
I don't know. I don't think I can get that image out of my head now. Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's free for everybody listening. There you go.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Do you do your Maltesers?
I'm more of a sucker. Actually, no. That actually relates to my pet peeve. I'll have 2 Maltesers, and then like one time if I have 2 Maltesers, I'll have to bite both, and then I'll have another 2 Maltesers, and then I'll have to suck them, or then I'll have 1 Malteser and bite, and then 1 Malteser I'll suck. I have to go through like a rhythm of like types of eating. Like it's not all foods because that would make me a freak, but like I'm just saying like certain foods like.
I have like a mild OCD because I've never been diagnosed with OCD, but I'm pretty sure I have like a very, very, very mild version of it when it comes to like organising things. Like for instance, if we've recently started playing Ark again in the Discord, and when we have storage, I have to have like all the wood in one thing and all the stone in one thing, and like if it's and it has to be labelled and it has to be in a certain row. And like for instance, if you put like boxes down, like storage boxes down, if they're not all like completely aligned and one's sticking out, I will spend 20 minutes aligning it because it annoys me if I walk in and see it out of line. Like really, really does my head in to the point where like I used to have a really bad thing when I was a kid. You just reminded me when I used to be young. I was about 10 years old. And I had it for quite a while, up to like probably like 17, right? It was kind of weird case. I think I'm pretty sure it's to do like OCD, where if I was to shut a door, no matter what door it was, I'd have to shut it 3 times. Don't ask me why, but to the point where if I walked off after only closing it once or twice, I'd have to go back and close it a 3rd time. And you get this like weird body pain in your head where you like because you haven't done the thing that you feel like you need to do, and you've got to go back and do it. And from looking it up, that's what OCD essentially is in certain forms of OCD rather, is where you have to do certain things, a certain amount of times in a certain order every day to like calm your brain, which I found really interesting because I never thought I had it. And then thinking about it later on when I got older and then researched what OCD, what it actually is, I was like, oh, maybe I did. And then I occasionally get it when I'm in like organising games and stuff. One of the reasons I like Resident Evil 4 so much is because you had an organised storage box. I could line all the guns up and put the fish all on the left side. Really
that was an organiser's wet dream, Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I loved it, mate. That was my favourite part. I'm not shitting you not. My favourite part of Resident Evil is organising the weapons and the fish in the box. How fucking weird is that? But trying to fit everything in one box was my favourite part of it. But yeah, that's not really a pet peeve. It's more of a habit, I guess. But I'm pretty sure that's a mild OCD thing. But I have that a lot. I still have that now when it comes to games and stuff. And if I'm arranging things, I got freaked out the other day. My pet peeve. This is definitely a pet peeve, right? I don't know whether you have your parents come round and like tidy your place up for you, but when my mum comes round, she can't help but clean because she's a clean freak. She loves just cleaning to keep herself busy, she says. I tell her to sit down and chill when she comes around, but she just has to clean, right? Even if the place isn't dirty. But she moves things in my house. And this is one of probably my second most biggest pet peeve next to the chewing thing, because I don't want to hear you swallow your food, thanks, 4 miles away, is when, like for instance, it sounds really silly, right? But the second drawer in my kitchen is where my tea towels are. And she'll move the tea towels, for instance. She hasn't done this in the tea towels, but as an example, she'll just put them in a different drawer. So, when you go to get something and you just memory where it is, your body just knows, oh, the tea towels are in the second drawer, for instance. Or if I need to get the TV remote, I always leave it on a particular armchair or something. Or, for example, right? And it's not there. Oh my Christ! My body just shuts down. It's like, what's going on? Why isn't this where I had it? Which is one thing I'm really going to struggle with if I ever move in with someone else, because I have everything in such a particular order, even down to like things like I have like my toothbrush in a particular spot in the morning, and if it got moved, I would freak out because I'd be like, why is it not there? So I like to know before I go to bed. I know where everything is, which probably goes back to what you said before about me being like a big organising freak.
You've always and forever will be an organising freak.
So that massively is it's definitely my second biggest pet peeve, when my parents come around and it's always my mum, but she moves things in the house. And I find it hilarious because my daughter's also been saying it now. She's like, oh, Annie's moved stuff again. It's like, I can't cope with it. It hurts me when I can't find stuff. She always moves the knives in the kitchen. This is just me moaning about it. But yeah, don't move my stuff when you come around. But I don't know if you ever have that when you've got parents come around and they've moved stuff and it's just like, where's this? Why can't I find this? Why has it been moved? I had it in that particular spot. It's annoying.
To be fair, like I know what you because sometimes my mother or my grandmother, who when visited me in my house, like will do something. I haven't asked them to do it; they'll just do it. Now, at first, I'm like, "What are you doing?" Just I'm just cleaning this up. I'm like, "You come here to see me?" I was just like, "No, it's only going to take a minute." Now, I've literally got to the point now in my life where no matter how much I clean something, it will never be as good as theirs. And I have never found out the mystery how they do it. They just have this magical way of cleaning something just better than mine. It'll just have like an extra shine or something. It's like, what magical hands do you have?
I think that's also another pet peeve. Yeah, and you nailed that they clean. My mum always managed to get my flat 10 times cleaner than I can, and I think I've really done a really good job.
Yeah.
And like you said, it will just be sparking. You're like, what have you done? What magic is this?
What witchcraft do you practice?
It's not fair.
Teach me. You've raised me. Why can't you teach me this secret?
What goat did you sacrifice to get this room this clean?
Where's the local There
we go.
Cleaning powers.
That's going to be a good eat emoji for him when I edit that later on.
Yeah. Right, then. Oh, I'm just going to do it again so it's not a waste of time. There you go.
Awesome.
It's like now that we're like getting into flow, one pet peeve, one fucking pet peeve I have. You know how people say like talk about a film that you're eager to watch and they'll talk about it and you got no spoilers and then they actually do spoilers, right? See, that generally is like an annoyance, but a pet peeve is like they'll tell you about a game. They're about to tell you about a game, and you go, no, don't tell me about the game, don't tell me about the game, anything at all. Don't tell me anything about the game at all. I go, okay. But all I want to just say is like, no, don't. Is that relating to the game? Yes. So I don't want to know about it. Yeah, but all I want to say is it's like, no, I don't care if you say it's brilliant, because I already know that you already know it's brilliant because you're about to tell me. If you said it was bad, you would have not even had to start this conversation. So just stop.
Spoilers. Yeah, he hates spoilers. Is what he's getting at, I think. Yeah.
Oh, not even that though, but just like a synopsis about a thing. Unless I ask you, just don't tell me about it. If you know that I'm already intrigued on this and I'm really hyped up for it, I just don't want no information. Because I know like some people just want to know stuff as much as possible, and they still go in, and it like, even though people won't admit it, it does devalue the excitement a bit. I wouldn't say it turns it anticlimactic because you still enjoy it, but like it's the fact that people can't wait, and it's just like, I must know the information as soon as possible. And I
like low-key get that, because it is very nice when you've watched something and you're excited for your friends to watch it. You just tell them so they can experience it. But on the other hand, I do agree it's really fucking annoying when someone tells you the ending to a film or something.
Unless I've asked. Because like I have done that as myself. I've gone like, oh, I really want to tell my friend like this, so and so, and they'll be like, unless they say, yeah, sure, and then I gush while going cockeyed, but unless that, I will keep my mouth up, even though I'm just like literally having convulsives, like I need to say something. No
information
needs to be sent. But yeah, like I guess it's just like, especially like something as important to me as like certain franchises and things like that, which then relates to, I would say this is a pet peeve because I can understand why people don't like it, but I still don't understand why people can't even respect it or even just enjoy it just a little bit, because every now and again you're going to come across this, and that is fiction. And in when I say that, I mean like fictional writing, like fictional books, or anything that is literally non-fiction. So basically like, the Disney, Marvel, just books about ghosts and alternative universes and science fiction and whatever. I had this conversation with my grandmother, and she was just like, Oh, I just like some of that real stuff. Like, because I was talking about show, and she knows how much I like Doctor Who. And she says, so I don't mind those shows. I just don't like anything that's really fictional. And my head just like, I don't know if it was just a moment. Time stood still. And I was like, what do you mean you don't like fiction? It's just, I just like real things, And I'm just like, so you do realise that NCIS is not real, right? We do realise that true crimes is not real, right? Just like that's based on fictional. It's like, no, but it's based on real events or based on non-fictional. I think people go through that. I was like, okay, fair enough, you have that. That is fine. That is very true. But I will tell you right now, 6 months ago, you was talking about a book that you enjoyed reading, and it had ghosts in it.
Yeah, but to just intercept there, to some people they are real. So that's a sway of opinions.
Do not stick up for my grandmother on this one.
Just say, some people believe in the supernatural. See,
yeah, I know. We did do a podcast about this, remember? I was there. I was there. But then it talks about apparently it talks about like these daughters that go for this journey and they see like the spiritual and things like that. But then she likes what do you call it, Scrooge. That has ghosts in it. And then like I'm pretty sure she enjoys other things from like Shakespeare as well, so it's like, and she did say that she did watch some Doctor Who stuff and enjoyed it, but she says also it's not a fan of like, she just says, but she straight out said that I don't like fiction, and I'm just like, that's fine, but then you've read stuff and watched stuff that's fictional. So that's kind of I feel like if you're going to say something, it's either you like it or you don't like it, or I only like a little bit of it, or I like some of it, or like there's different versions of how you can say yes and no, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit, less a bit. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I like people to be specific about sort of stuff, I guess. But when she said that she doesn't like fiction, I'm just like, you do realise there is some stuff that you have watched.
Basically,
yeah. Sorry, Grandma, I love you. You know this. This is why that. I think it's all because that I've beaten her in Scrabble a lot lately. I won 3 times in a row last time I went down there.
It's on your nan. No one cares that you won Scrabble.
yeah, 3 times in a row. All right, I'm just saying. I'm keeping this on the podcast, so it's forever in the archives. So I'm just saying.
Shout, ladies! I'm fucking awesome at Scrabble. Oh yeah.
I can make a 7-letter word. Call me up.
Just thought I'd been a pet peeve while you were moaning about your nan.
Say grandma. I hate when people say nan. Say grandma.
That's my pet peeve is, what's wrong with nan?
I just don't like it.
That's just like locations, isn't it? Then people say different words, so different phrases for the same word, rather.
I've always called her grandmother, and she likes grandmother, she doesn't like nan either.
See, I find grandmother too formal. Like my daughter says nanny for my mum, and then I would say nan for, if she was still here, rest in peace. But I would say nan. I wouldn't say nanny. I think nanny's too like for younger kids, and then grandmother's like really formal in my opinion. But anyway, going way off topic again.
Continue.
Another pet peeve of mine is when people talk over you, and that's something I have to try and learn. I'm guessing you have as well. Because when we're doing this, because the reason me and Mike don't have face cams is because for one, we can't afford the technology at the minute to have face cams, and 2, because of COVID, we can't physically do this in person. So it's a lot more difficult to do a podcast without tripping over each other all the time when you physically can't see the other person about to finish the sentence. So that's a massive skill I've had to learn while doing this with you, is learning when to let you speak and then try not to muddle over each other, as we've learned. I'm assuming a problem as well, because it's just a skill to learn. But people in general, I've known people in the past who are so adamant to get their point across, mainly in an argument, or if they think they are more knowledgeable on a topic than you are, feel the need to over talk you in an argument. And do you know in fact, do you know what, this goes beyond the chewing of meat. This, chew of meat, go to the side and just stay there a sec. I'll get back to you in a minute because fucking talking over has got the phone ringing.
Oh God, he's clicked his fingers for this.
I was doing at work. My mother it was a previous job. And someone was moaning at me, a superior, bloody hell, it's formal, a supervisor was moaning at me about something, and I was trying to get the explanation, trying to explain what had happened, and they were just talking over me, and I was like, do not have a go at me about something, or question me, or get into an argument with me, right, whatever, and ask me from my side of things, and then don't let me explain it. That is the biggest pet peeve I have out of everything, because people have to be given the right to explain themselves, and so, especially if it's like if someone's accusing you of something, or having a general argument, or even a healthy discussion about something that you're both knowledgeable on, right? And some people just feel the need to be the loudest person in the room and just talk over you, and that does my head in to no end, to the point where I would literally scream the house down if someone says like, so I've done this before in arguments, and I'm like the chillest person, as you've been told on multiple podcasts, as Mike said, like my mum always fucking says the time, you're very more chilled, you fall asleep. I really don't lose my temper that much, but when I do, I really do lose my temper. And I will take a lot of crap off someone before I do. But this is the one thing that will guarantee that I would explode on you, is if you ask me a question or something, or whatever it is, right? And then I'm trying to explain, and then you're just talking over me. I before had just screamed, like, just shut up and let me talk. Like it does my head in so much when people don't let you get your point across. And that's been the main thing I've had to learn with doing this with Mike, is waiting to listen when you can, when I think you're about to finish talking about there's been a couple of times as people have listened to this regularly, probably have heard, well, occasionally we talk over each other because we're trying to figure out this while not being able to actually physically be in front of each other like most podcasts are. They normally have two people in the room, and that's normally how it's done, where we're doing this over a mobile phone and a mic, so it's like, and
a tablet, yeah.
So it's a lot, mainly because of COVID, but also because of distance and technology and all the rest of it. Hopefully we get face cams at some point and it'll be a lot easier, but that's the main thing for me but it's a massive thing that I have with people, is when they talk over you, and I can't stand it. So doing me, talking over me, don't do it.
You know what? I think I might have to jump on the bandwagon on that and agree with you. That's probably one of my most annoying things. Because when you like someone is just lying at you, and they think that they're just talking to you or just throwing out some like maybe some constructive criticism, maybe you've asked for like some advice and you're telling them, and they've gave off this impression like they're actually like and they're getting louder as well, and you're just like, I've not even said anything. Why are you getting louder? Are you getting annoyed during this transition? Is this like, is he like, it's like, my God, it's like, why is you... And then when you try and explain back, and then the loudness of what they've reached on the peak when they've actually stopped after like 10 centuries, they'll go back into it even though you haven't finished your sentence, and you're just like, what the who, like, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are, for starters? Like, you don't you really just come off as like egotistical, and you just think you're right about everything because the universe is all around you. It's like, I understand that. I've had it's happened a lot. I know sometimes, like you say, it's hard sometimes when you can't see people. It happens on streams, and I don't blame the people on the streams. But sometimes some of my friends are talking, and I'm literally trying to do the thing. But you think after the fourth time, when they clearly can hear me and clearly trying to just do my, like, if you enjoying this, then blah 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 blah, and then you're just like, okay, I need to ask you guys to shut the fuck up, like. Obviously, my moderators don't do that my moderators don't do that at all. So shout outs to all my mods that literally know the queue. So thank you, Crazy Diana and Anthony and Mark. But there's some other people, like special guests, that just I'm just like, you do realise I am streaming and you can clearly hear me doing this for the third time because you keep butting in. It's like, yeah.
This is why most of my streams are solo. Because I just can't be dealt with it, to be honest. Another one that's just come to my head on top, and it's very similar, is when people talk, and this is a bit on you, just because of the way they talk.
Oh my god, I thought you meant legit, like, no, I
No,
know
you
what
know
you
when
mean.
like
I
they
know what
get
you
like
mean. Yeah.
you just
I know what
by accident they just get spit all over, and you're like, I've already had a shower today, thanks. I don't need another one. That's just disgusting. And I know a lot of people can't be helped because, well, I'd like to think people are intentionally just spitting on people during mid-conversation. But how was your morning? but yeah, that's another one, a quick one that just popped in my head as we were talking about like conversational ones. And people not another one as well that's just popped into. I'm just kind of quick firing them now because they're just popping into my head. Or I'm trying to say them while I'm remembering them because I'm just a blank canvas today and my memory's shit. So when people don't like look after the hygiene, like why is that a thing in 2021 that people like don't feel the need to wash or like cut the nails or like brush the teeth when they go out in public, or do you know what I mean, or like just have clean clothes on? Like I don't understand.
I mean, like, yeah, some people just generally don't have any kind of personal hygiene, which is annoying. I mean, arguably, yeah, sometimes you lose the will to not do any of that if you do suffer from depression and anxiety.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, yeah, but there are some people out there that will literally grow moss in their bathtub and not even think twice about, maybe I should get rid of that.
It's like I get that. Like I'm talking because whenever I normally talk about, I should probably say this as a little disclaimer thing, so people don't get annoyed at me. I'm not bashing people. Not bashing people that have like depression and can't.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's more like I'm talking about personal experiences. For when I've gone to like gaming events and people who are I know them fairly well, so they don't have like depression or anxiety or any of this stuff. They're completely fine.
They just smell.
They just stink, and it's like, can you not? Yeah, they spent thousands on a console or gaming event, and what have we gone to? But you can't buy a bar of soap for a quid and like go and have a wash. Like, the fuck's that about?
Yes, not spending £600 on Yu-Gi-Oh cards and buy a fucking bar of soap.
I used to go to big like card game tournaments, and they had to initiate a rule because people refused to wash. So now one of the rules is you will get banned from a tournament if you don't wash and you smell too much. So and I was a judge at one of these ones at the time, and one of the things as a judge is you had to go over if the person complained their opponent smelt. I had to go over and sniff them and tell them to leave if they stank too much. Why is that a thing in 2021? Why can't people just wash correctly? Why can't you cut your nails? Why can't you like just sort your hygiene out? Long nails as well on guys. It's why? Can we just why? Like, why is that a thing? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm like, I don't get it, and it really bothers me because it's just dirty. So can we not? Thanks.
Okay, well, I'll tell you something now that is, well, not probably trigger you, but there's something about me that you need to know that you probably notice. I don't intentionally do it, but sometimes I grow my nails to a point where it's just a good place to scratch, because I've bought so many like different like things like a back scratcher or something like that, but like my extended thumb. Sometimes I don't, obviously this is not like I grow it to the point where I look like, you know, Edward Scissorhands, but like I grow it to enough to like scratch a certain place and it's like, oh, that is the shit right there. But like and honestly some days I'll just forget and I'll just look and go, oh my god, I'm
Sabretooth from the 2001 X-Men film.
Oh no, yeah, I'm just like I'm Hugh Jackman, bitch. Oh Jesus. But like, yeah, I can understand that. If we're gonna go down to more pet peeves, what was the other one? What was the other one that we was gonna talk about? Habits.
Yeah.
Habits. That's it. Habits. Right. Okay. This is gonna gross you out, I feel. Okay. So you know when sometimes you got dirty nails, right?
Yeah.
God, this is gonna hurt.
I can hear you want to regret it.
Okay, like you know, like a pin, right?
A pin,
like not a pin, like a nail, but like you know, like a you know what a clip. That's it. So you know, like to clip on papers together. So I rewire it to extend it out, and I stick the clip ends into between my nails and get the dirt out.
I thought you were going to say in your ass. I don't know why.
What the hell? Even though I told you about nails.
I mean, that's weird, but hey ho.
But it's because right. I was traumatized.
That problem if you cut your nails. Just saying.
No, I do cut my nails. So I don't cut like okay, that's a pet peeve. That is actually a pet peeve. Like real talk. Right, I was traumatized as a kid by watching a corn video. It's an animated video.
You say corn, sorry. Oh my god.
A corn video. As in kicking Kurt.
Kicking Kurt? How old are you, Mike?
No, the music band, you idiots! The fucking music band! Jesus, corn, not corn, not the shit you eat.
No, good. I was laughing at the fact that you said kicking Kurt like you were in primary school. That's what made me laugh.
Oh, it's because I thought you still didn't understand.
No,
That's
I got that. It's
I thought I had to literally empathise. I thought you was becoming dribbling at this point.
Fuck it out.
All right, can I get to my point, please?
Yeah, go on. Fucking kicking Kerr point, go on.
Kicking Kerr. Yeah, I'll even had the faces and the feet on it, like in the old alphabets when they try to make them like
that topic again. Get to your corny point.
Humanoids. Okay, so basically there was an animated video in this corn video, and it's really freaky. So this guy is just like literally just stares at his nails, and I think he does something else with his eyelids as well, and he proceeds to cut off his toenails and his fingernails, like literally rips them off with like a plier, and also like cuts his I believe this happens, but I think he also cuts off his eyelids, and ever since watching that, I've literally, anyone that goes near my nails or talks about nails or anything like that, I freak out. I'm just like, no, please stop talking about nails. It's horrible. This is why I do things that I had to clean them efficiently. In my point of view, I hate when people my friend Crazy talked about. She's thinking that one of her toenails had fallen off because she had this massive incident that happened to her. I think she banged it. I didn't know that toenails grow, so I learned that.
I'm sorry, what now?
Toenails grow apparently. I didn't know that. Apparently they grow back.
Oh, you didn't know they grow back, or you didn't know they grow at all?
No, I knew they grew.
That's what you just said. I didn't know they grew. That's what I was like. What?
No. I didn't know. I didn't know they grew back.
Oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah. Bone, isn't it? So yeah.
Well, again, I didn't know because when I was in primary school, I had a teacher that literally had the index one is the one between your thumb and your middle finger, isn't it? That's the index one, isn't it? That was completely gone, like gone. It was like looking at someone's face, but they didn't have eyes, nose, and a mouth. It was that like kind of like featureless. So it was like this nub, and it just freaked me out. It freaked me out. So obviously I put that in the back of my head. Like all of this was subconscious, and it's just all boiled down into like a deep like insecurity about nails and shit. And like my pet peeve is when people talk about nails and stuff, and then they describe it, and I'm just like, I will literally vomit on you if you please stop talking. But then I found out about the growing thing. I was like, oh, like I literally thought when you lose it, it's gone like forever, like completely gone. You know what I mean? Like completely gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that, so that was my learning experience. But that still didn't stop me from telling people to avert the I was just, please avert the conversation before I start hyperventilating, please. Like, thank you. Because then I'll get those images back of that corn video. It's really weird, but yeah, that's one of my pet peeves in terms of
the corn.
Not the kicking corn. No.
It's definitely not going to taste great.
Fucking Tony the Tiger. Oh, rip. Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, have you got like a pet peeve that you would consider like weird, like my nail one? Would you say that you have one?
Do you mean a habit?
Yeah, I'll have it. Either one.
I don't know. Like I used to have. I said, like I said, with the doors and stuff. But I'm trying to think. No, not really anymore. I've kind of grown out of most of them. Most of mine are just like heavy, like organised things. Like you nailed it last time when you said about me being like an organised freak. That's mainly my main thing, is that I just have to have things in certain places, and when I'm doing stuff, it has to be done by I have to know when stuff's starting and when stuff is ending. Do you know what I mean? So I can plan stuff out. That's like my main thing. And if I don't know, like it's very rare that, like, for instance, I would go out. I'm assuming you've done this before. Like, say you go out drinking for a night, and you haven't planned how you're going to get home. You don't even know you got enough money to get home. You've just gone out.
Yeah,
that would freak me out. Still, even still now, if I didn't know exactly how much money I had to spend and how I was getting home, and where if I wasn't going home, where I was stopping, who I was stopping with, and what time I was getting, I'd freak out. Because I have to have it all. I guess it's kind of like a bit of a control freak thing in me, I guess. But it's just, I just like to know what's going on and what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Because then I have some sort of like comfort in knowing that, I guess. So that's why it was really weird when me and Jordan, which is Mike's stepbrother, we went away to Manchester the once. Our mate drove us there, and it was like a massive deal for me because I didn't know where we were stopping or how we were getting home. And we ended up just stopping in a random uni dorm with some guys that we met at an event, and that was like a massive thing for me because I was like, whoa! I didn't, I was impressed with myself that I was like not bothered by it for one, but then the fact that we actually did it, I thought that's kind of crazy. And we still talk about that weekend night today, crazy. But yeah, that's mainly the only thing I've got because I don't know. I think I've pretty much mentioned all of the main things that bother me with what people do and weird things that I've done.
Do you reckon you have a bad habit that you can understand why people get annoyed at?
I'm very stubborn. I don't even class that as a habit. Like, for instance, if I think I'm right on a subject, to the point where I think I know I'm right. Do you know what I mean?
Prepare to bring a sleeping bag, basically, because I know I've seen him.
I'm fully aware that is what I'm like. I know that, but that's just my personality. If I think I'm right on a subject, I don't care what you're saying. And to my detriment sometimes, but that's just kind of a personality trait rather than a habit, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, maybe you've got one about me that you know, that you've got a habit that I do. I don't really know. I'd say the one I personally like a bit aware of is try not to talk over people, because sometimes I do. But that's, again, a learning thing. But when you're having multiple conversations with different people, I don't really know.
There's one thing that I know that you do, which is not a bad thing initially, but it's something that used to annoy me back in the day. But I think I did tell you this, and then like, so basically, you remember when like we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and basically when you try to explain something to myself or anyone else, you start off normal, and then for some reason there's a pause, and then whatever you're trying to explain next goes at a total speed at 150,000 miles per hour, and it's just like, so what does this card does? So it goes up to 3,000, 1,000. It was like, it's like talking to an auctioneer.
That's a problem, I think, with part of my dyslexia as well, because I have so much information to try and get out at once. And because especially if I'm enthusiastic about something, that's you just reminded me, that's a thing that I do a lot, right? So and this kind of ties into what you mentioned. If I'm massively enthusiastic about something, and I'm very knowledgeable on it as well, and I want you, and I can see that you're interested in it, I will not shut the fuck up, and I will talk so fast. Yeah, that is bang on. Yeah. I do that with games now. Like, if you ask me about BioShock, I could sit here for a solid 2 hours, and you wouldn't even get a word in. and I would just talk about it non-stop, and have the most boring next 40 minutes of this podcast. But yeah, I do that.
I have to put like a time mark and just like, this is how you do things, and record.
But yeah, no, I totally forgot that about myself, but I do that still. But that's when I get really, really hyped. Like if I'm really enthusiastic about something, I do that a lot. But I guess it kind of helps in a way, doesn't it, with podcasts, because you bring in topics that you're interested in, so you can do it for a long period of time, and that ties into, again, learning not to talk over people, because like you said, I talk so fast sometimes when I've got so much information, so much I want to say about the topic that I'm enthusiastic about, that I forget there's another person here. Sometimes I have to try and pause myself to like let you. So that's probably why now I don't even notice, but I tend to try and ask you questions on it. So then it gives me a chance to like my brain to go, stop, you knob.
I'm more like, yeah, when we do discuss these things, I pause because I do sometimes feel like I think I might have gone a bit too long, and I want to realise this as another human being.
Out the truths. The one thing you've got, which I guess is a habit, and it's not a bad habit. You massively sidetrack, which is it's great for edits, and it's good for podcasting in a sense, because it gives it like a different. For my personal opinion, because I obviously watch these back when I'm editing them, I have a good chuckle half the time. But especially when you're editing stuff in like that, still one of my favourite edit moments from one of the very first podcasts is when you were talking about a summer's day, and I just put the fucking leaves up. I was like, this is what I googled what autumn was like, and it's nothing what Mike's going on about, but whatever. And you got the leaves were golden, and the old man was looking at me. So what is this got to do with everything that we're going on about? So this is how it happens a lot. I also am guilty of this, but Mike's got a talent for sidetracking when it comes to conversations. He just literally puts him got talent and just let him ramble about something. Like
I like putting subgenres into things.
Yeah,
okay?
subgenres. We'll call them subgenres, not sidetracking, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I'm guilty of that, because the funny thing that you mentioned about when you're enthusiastic about something, you just want to gush, and like you literally just. So I remember that you laughed at it first. I thought I'd try it a second time.
I get it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I like, for example, I understand why you're enthusiastic about some things, because you're either really knowledgeable about it or you're good at it to the point where the knowledge is extended from. In terms of like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Arc, as you mentioned, mine still is Dead by Daylight. I can literally talk about Dead by Daylight for long ass periods of time. This is why I like making videos about DBD, because I'm quite knowledgeable. I'm not like an expert, because there's some, like, if you ask me something about the Blight, I'll be like, oh, like, like literally I know what I know, but I know
you know it well. Yeah,
I know it well. So when people ask me about what a certain perk does, or a killer, or whatever, and I explain this to them, they thought, oh, this will only take like 10 to 20 seconds. I'm still there 5 minutes later explaining it to them.
Yeah,
because and people tend to forget that this is a very it's a very strategic game. There's a proper strategy involved. Like, it's not like, oh, I'll just go forward. Like, you need to know where to loot the killer. You need to know where to take the killer. You need to know the strategies. Think like it's a big mind game kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the reason why, and I guess is sometimes I'm a bit too truthful, because like if we're playing Kill Your Friends, I'll play with anyone and enjoy it. But I have, like, DBD is one of those games where I am competitive, and I've put my hand up in honesty that I'm competitive. At least I don't hide it like some people. I only want to play with people that I know are like, I know that won't go down in the first 10 seconds, or, hides in a corner, or literally, if in my head it's like, okay, if I'm being chased, there should be 2 people at least doing gens and 1 person trying to find one. You know what I mean? I am very like that indulged into it. I know it's just for fun when it comes to Kill Your Friends and stuff, but when you're playing online, and there's not if you're with a group of people, that killer's not going to think, oh, I'm going to let them off because they're just having fun. No, they're playing to win. They will kick your ass. They will bring you down. So, like, when people go, tra-la-la-la-la-la, and it's like, for fuck's sake, can you just please, just try, please, for me, for my sound. I want blood points. Please. You know, and it's like, but yeah, I guess that sometimes the knowledge that you have about something, even though it is innocent as it can be, you can tell that they've lost interest after the next 20 seconds, and just like, well, you asked me a question, and then you kind of come off a bit as rude afterwards, and it's just like, okay, maybe next time you ask me a question, I won't answer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go, this is good perk, this is bad perk. You know, or maybe I'll just do that. You know,
that is the one with me as well. Like you just said, when someone asks you about something, they know you're knowledgeable about trying to learn it, and you're explaining, and then they haven't taken any of it in, and then they ask you still after the fact. You're like, I've just explained to you, especially when you've done this like 3 times in a row, and you're still there explaining something to them. It's like, can you not just listen? Have all the patience in the world for someone, but if you're not listening after I've explained something 3 times, I'm not doing it. That's just how it goes.
Man, I love playing Kill Your Friends with, you know, like the Discord people and my moderators, and like I love the fact that I've seen people grow from the beginning, and I've even met a big portion of my audience through DBD, and it's a game that I'll always forever remember as the game that brought me closer friendships. But then people realized how much of a competitive asshole I am. So, you know, it all comes together in some one big happy story, to one extent and another. Yeah, that's a personality trait, I guess. A habit is there are some things I am completely competitive by, and I do not apologize for that.
Yeah,
because that is just who I am. I've died it down because I used to be much worse. But it doesn't even stem from DBD. It only extends onto some things that I feel that I'm adequate at, or borderline good. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in anything, but the thing is, like, one of my hobbies that I haven't done during this entire pandemic because we're not being able to is Crown Green bowling. For people who don't know what that is, it's a sport where you throw a ball towards a smaller ball, and the first people to get to 21 points wins. I'll spare you the details, but basically it's usually played by people that are over 50. And I am competitive as hell. Sometimes when I usually do win my games, but when I lose and I'm losing badly, I'm just like, I will make it very clear that I am not happy.
You will make those grannies pay that they fucked with his ball.
I will literally get a jackhammer and slam the windows through their cars. But no, it's like my mom's on the other side of the field, like marking my car. It's like, you doing what? It's like, do not patronise me. Or like, just like, oh, unlucky. Like, don't. Just don't say anything. My great uncle was the worst for it. It's like, give me advice about something that I clearly know about. But it's just, the fact is, if you're not in that exact position, if you're not throwing the ball, I don't care if you've got 20 billion years of experience more than I have, you do not tell me how I did not do something. But yeah, me being competitive is a bad habit, I guess.
Continuation, apparently.
Just saying, like, I guess like personality traits, I guess, are habits, I guess. I mean,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
But so just to be warned as well, if you want anything to know about Doctor Who, if anyone who watches this that's a Doctor Who fan, you can come to me. I know everything about Doctor Who. And
ladies, hit him up.
yeah. So if you like why it's bigger on the inside,
you like the old sweaty men playing with the balls on a green field and lots of Doctor Who DVD, Mike's your man.
Yeah, and everything in between.
Over 50 plus round.
And if you if you're into like raising dinosaurs with cyber parts, all the way to hygienic cleansing to the point where it's OCD, then you come to your boy Simply.
I will organise your boxes for free.
Yeah.
Yes, that was going to be dirty.
I thought my innuendo was dirty when it's bigger on the inside, but no, okay.
Yeah, this is what I'm
Oh.
single.
Yeah, I've also been trying throughout this entire time of this podcast. I don't know if you've been hearing it because I've got a new headset. I've been drinking every so often, and I'm just like, I wonder how many levels I can take it for him to be like, "Are you drinking something?"
I've just come to accept it now. What are you drinking?
All right.
What are you actually drinking?
I'm drinking some ginger beer.
Oh.
Old Jamaican ginger beer.
Okay.
Yes.
You're trying to sort
But yeah.
Mike's health out and make him fitter. I made him do, what was it? You did a squat, a plank, and a push-up before this podcast.
Yes, I did.
He nearly cried. No, I didn't.
Well, no. I to be fair, the push-up wasn't bad, the squat wasn't bad, but the plank could go F itself hard. That was
Hard.
yeah. Just like my just like my anyway. Pet peeves. Hey.
Yeah, remember when I mentioned sidetracking earlier?
I know, yeah, I was gonna say, look who's guilty now. Look at
You
it.
started your balls and your DVD.
My balls deep in DVD. I'll actually definitely have to come by on one Tuesdays and join you lot, because and then I'll tell you what every single one of you. I will tell you what you're doing wrong.
Okay, and I'll definitely listen. Yes, yes, definitely listen. I'm trying to think of any other habits or pet peeves that I think we've pretty much covered all of mine though, and like ones that I'm annoyed by and ones that I can think of myself. That I do. Don't really know, to be honest.
I guess we can go. Carry on.
The one thing I do swish my hair far too much, and that's mainly when it's too long. Because at the moment, the lockdown haircut. To help in the chat, you feel me on the lockdown lack of haircut because of lockdown. Because I'm dying for a bloody haircut. It's been months. Constant playing with my head does my head in, and I can't control it. Like you just find yourself doing something, and you don't even know you've done it. I'm constantly doing that. Mike probably will testify for this, because every time we do face cam before we start this podcast, I'm constantly fucking my hair because it's in my face all the time, and that's because it's just too long, and that's why I have to get it shaved off. But they're not bloody open yet. I think it's like 2 weeks, isn't it, till the hairdressers are open, something like that, pretty sure. But,
he legitimately does that emo Swift thing. It's like, I
can't
like moving his fringe to the one side. every time he does it, I get like this My Chemical Romance like feed like in my head. Like I'm like, oh my god, I'm in Pigeon Park.
Wow, 2007 bringing what's its song back?
I'm not okay.
You know. What was he going to say anyway before I spoke over you? He forgot. Wicked.
It's just like this massive mind block. No, but you was talking about your hair and stuff, and like how it's like gotten into your way, and like I always notice. But to be fair, I did the same thing with my beard.
Yeah. I think I've had people mention that to me before about my hair. I do that an awful lot. Other than that, again, like I said, I tried not to talk over people. I'm trying to think what else. I think we pretty much covered most of the things I had to mention. Just the meat chewing is a really big one as well. Just can't stand it. Just please close your mouth when you eat. That's also another one. Why do people feel the need to open their mouth when they eat stuff? It's like, Jesus. I'm so self-conscious of that. When people actively talk and stuff, and they've got like a mouthful of chicken, and it's just, can you not? That'd be great, thanks. I don't want to feel the chicken that you're eating.
I like how you just like specifically said chicken though. Like it's
my
not
life
fruit
is
product,
chicken
just
at a minute. You know, that's what it is. Chicken and broccoli and fish. That's all it is.
Oh my gosh! Like it actually reminds me of like you know, when you're wearing like a headset. Now, when I drink, I've actually tried to like minimize my drink gulps, because apparently when I do drink something quite fast, if I'm trying to get into like if a match is about to start and I just really want to finish this like cup of tea or whatever, I literally, the gulps apparently can be heard. Apparently when I eat, people can barely hear me, but when like
you are a dirty gulper
like,
sometimes, yeah.
I was like, ong, ong. It's just like, is he watching porn?
You just paid him 50 quid to swallow it. That's what he's just done. But he's going for it.
Hey, I don't waste food, you know.
So the way he drinks tea sometimes when he's rushed, you think he has daddy issues. He's swallowing it that fast. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
anyway.
I have that hurt. I have that hurt. But yeah, I guess anything that we talk about from here on out, it will probably just be more generally annoyances that most people have. Oh yeah, here's one. When people don't have common sense, and you get kind of scared at the fact that it has the word common, even though it's not. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
People should have more common sense. That's why it's common. There you go.
A thing that annoys me is when, and this again goes back to my organisation problems, is when you've like tidied something, whether you've been at work and you've been asked to like tidy a shelf, or and someone just comes along and wrecks it for no reason, or you're doing something in a game and then someone just ruins something by not listening. If you're doing like team-based stuff or rushes it. Perfect example of that. Leroy Jenkins had just rushed into the fucking cave. You know, the massive meme. Leroy Jenkins just went straight into the cave. People just don't listen when you're trying to explain stuff. I think we've already covered that though. I mean, when you've talked about being knowledgeable on topic and then people are not listening to you anyway. Yeah, we've already talked about that. We're kind of repeating ourselves. I
wouldn't say we're repeating ourselves. I think we're just we have more in common of what we have seen. I think that's the reason why we've been good friends, because we have a lot of things that we have in common in terms of like we also don't like these things together.
I've got a new one. It's in my head. Sorry to talk over you. I'm a massive hypocrite, but I've got to say it before I forget. Stereotyping is a massive pet peeve with me. The amount of people. Right. So I'm a single dad. I have full custody, and obviously have a daughter pretty much the entire time. And people assume that I don't. Really annoys me, just purely off the fact that I'm male, and considering there's so much stuff against like sexism and racism, and you know, these days, and you can't say anything these days because someone can identify as whatever they like and all the rest of it. So you literally have to be so careful with what you say, but it's still like really accepted that how come the mother hasn't got the child, and it's such a weird thing, because I come across that quite a lot, obviously because of my situation. But I know other people that are friends that also have the child living with them who are dads, and they also suffer from it as well. Or just generally being younger parents. If both the parents are still together and they're just younger, and people kind of like look down on it, that's a massive thing with me. Like, why does it matter? As long as they're decent parents, why should it be a big deal? Do you know what I mean? Yes, is my honest sleep. Is it there? What's going on?
No, I was just absorbing. I thought you was going to extend it a little bit further. I was thinking to myself, you know what that reminds me of? When people use their ancestors as a reason to have a go at things that, even though that happened like many, like not even in this generation, there's a generation before it, but it makes out like they're personally affected, even though
that's the one as well.
Yeah, that's just like, right, you live in like a 4-bedroom house and you're making it out like, you know, you live in a cage. It's like, shut the fuck up, you know, stop using that as there's a lot of people, like, especially when you live in Birmingham, there's a lot of people that will literally just throw the racist card in the middle just because they can. Not because there's actually any logical reason for them to do it, they just literally will. And like, you know, PC correctness these days. And they touched my sci-fi fictional show on that PC crap. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I can understand where you're coming from in terms of that, because I think it's just more to a lot of people know the norm, and unfortunately it is the fact that the mother looks after the child, and they raise the child, and every person that has a penis is a bad guy in that situation. But like, obviously you're one of the rare examples of the fact is it's the other way around. And it's like obviously people are just like, oh, like they're like almost shocked. The fact that they're shocked about it.
It's not even the shocks. It's more the fact that they kind of like deny it to my face. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely sure that she lives with me. I've got a fucking question of that. But like, or even just the fact like when you're at the school gate and it's awkward enough being like 20 years younger than all the other parents there, and then they just make it even more awkward because of just how they act around you. They just act differently because they'll be chatting with all the other parents because. And you kind of get looks. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're younger and you're a parent, it's like seen as like a bad thing. Whereas I personally think it's fucking awesome that I'm going to be 40 when she's 18, because that means I'm young enough to do all the stuff with her. Like, because I was 22 and I have my daughter, which is obviously very young. But
yes.
But for me, she's going to be 8 this year. I'm going to be 30. I've still got loads of energy to go around the wacky warehouses with her, go to the park with her. I personally think it's kind of selfish being an older parent with younger kids because you can't do anything with them. I've seen parents that are like 60 and have a 5-year-old. It's like, what's that about? Because then you can't do anything with them. Do you know what I mean? You're nearly dead.
Just jump down that out. I'm just wondering how many people that actually are parents at 60.
I've seen a couple of people at the park, my local park, that you think are their grandparents and then they're their parents. And hey, I'm not bashing them in a sense. You want to have kids later on in life. I get it. People want to work more and have a career and all the rest of it. I totally get it. It's fine. But I feel like there's a certain point in life where you've kind of missed it a little bit because it's not fair on the children, is it? You know what I mean? Like in terms of you having energy to actually look after them and do stuff with them properly, like take them around the park and they want to and just keep up with them because kids require a lot of energy and it tires you out. Even at my age, I was still in my 20s, and it's like it tires you out. And I'm not I'm full of the most energy I'm ever going to be at this like last 10 years. So to do that at like 60 and older must be the most exhausting thing. Like, how do you know what I mean? You're meant to be retiring at that age, and you're at the later parts of your life. It's like, should be looking after a toddler. Oh, that's crazy. And if people get angry about me, that's fine, but that's just my opinion on it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm on the other end of the spectrum where people judge me because I'm younger. And I'm like, well, if anything, it's better because I have more time. Do you know what I mean? To look after her. It's like,
yeah.
And I have more energy and I'm healthier, so I'm definitely going to be around longer. Like, well, obviously, hope touch wood, but it's just
quick find a desk.
Yeah, I'm currently on one. There you go.
There we are.
Yeah, but that happens a lot. I get a lot daily. I just get looks because I'm younger, and then the conversations are weird. I'm like, dude, we have nothing in common because you're like 50. I'm 29.
See, at least when I play tag with my daughter, I don't have to use a mobile scooter.
Yeah, it's really weird. But anyway, that's a bit of a weird sidetrack, but it is an annoyance. So I guess it kind of works. But, I'm literally out of ideas of what to talk about now. We've pretty much gone through everything I wanted to mention. I don't know if you've got anything left, or if you want to leave it there. We've only got like 10 minutes left anyway.
I think I can squeeze in a few.
Yeah, go on then.
I think I can squeeze in a few. When you see people, and like shout out to the inspiration all the way from Northfield for this one, is when, especially women, that wear these clothes that they've probably seen on TV, and they're like, oh, I'll get that, and then they wear it and it clearly doesn't fit them. So they'll be like, ideally it's a thing where you wear like this like shirt or whatever, it has like this like trendy logo on, and then you see them on the street and it's literally halfway up. It's not like supposed to be a tank top, it's literally because their belly's sticking out that badly. It's not they're pregnant either. No, it's just the fact is they literally are wearing clothes that do not fit them. and they make it out like the sexy thing, and it's just like, yeah, there's always something sexy about looking like a pot-bellied pig. I mean, it must be
I
enough.
said he's not body shaming.
I'm not body shaming. I am a fat, chunky person. I'm not body shaming because I am extremely chunky, but I wear clothes that fit me. So, you know, it's just like it's like it's weird. It's like I've only seen this in like literally in Northfield. It's weird, like, and then there's people that literally just wear things that are clearly too tight for them. So when you see their butt crack sticking out, and it's like, clearly you must know, or when they're too loose, and it's like they're across their ankles, and apparently this is a trend. I'm sorry. Oh, so you looking like you're desperate going to the toilet in a rush is a trend? Okay, didn't know. Fair enough. Like, yeah, basically, if something doesn't fit you, don't wear it. Just wear clothes that fit you. Just even if like you're wearing baggy stuff, like at least it fits you. It's not like dropping off you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There's a thing called a belt. So yeah, I guess it's like, yeah. So I'm not body shaming because like I am fat. You can consider me as chunky, chubby, or fat. So yes, I'm not body shaming. So I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wicked.
Yeah. Another thing is, I don't know if you've seen this. When people wear pajamas in supermarkets.
Yeah. Mostly Asda.
Yeah. I've seen it in Lidl. I went to Lidl once, and there was literally a family of people in their onesies, literally nothing else, and they were all wearing slippers. So someone's took the entire family in their onesies. I think, yeah, it was full family members. So there was the mom, her two daughters, and her son, all wearing matching onesies and slippers. Now, it's not like I was offended. Or anything, because obviously, why would you be offended by that? But I just find it curious. I can understand why people do like a night shop and stuff, and they can't be asked, and they just go in their dressings down and stuff. But the fact is that she brought the entire gang with her, matching.
Right.
It's just like, it was just weird, and I was like, I do not understand, because like your slippers are not going to get dirty because of all the shoes that have been in there, and now you're bringing that shit back to your bedrooms. Clever.
I love how that's what annoyed you about that. Your slippers are going to get dirty, you bitch.
No, but like, obviously, I know that they can't be asked to get dressed and stuff, but it's just weird to see it any time. Like I said, I can understand one individual quickly going off to the shops and doing that and take like 10 minutes, but they were literally got a giant trolley and things like that, and I was like, again, it was just, I didn't understand it. I was just like, you could just get dressed. Like, getting dressed only takes 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, okay, all right. What else? Hold on. Let me just get my leaflet.
Leaflet? What?
Yeah, like my leaflet of pet peeves.
Okay. Well, we're meant to bring leaflets to this.
Yeah, we're bringing leaflets now. It's like, it's begun. It's begun, simply. It's begun. There's one. Actually, there is one. Has this ever happened to you? Where you've gone to the toilet in a public place, and some guy has literally come up to you, complete stranger, and starts having a conversation with you whilst in mid-flow. Now, I can carry on pissing while someone's talking to me, but when they're that close to you, and I mean the next cubicle, and they start talking to you just to try and start a conversation, it's like, mate, I've got my dick out. Come on, I'm trying to focus. Like you could have done this at the bar.
It's when he's talking to your penis that's the problem. How you doing, mate? Yeah.
That does explain why his facial direction was in a certain awkward place. But anyway, but this has happened multiple times, and it's always like, it's not even. It's like people that have lived their lives already, kind of thing, like experience, like people that, and I know they're just trying to be nice and start up a conversation, but when you've had a few drinks down you, and they've had a few drinks down you, it becomes more like to the fact of like, you don't care, so you're like, how you doing? Oh, yeah, it's going good. But when you're sober, it's like, dude, wait till you're drunk first, and then this will be less of a reason why you would want to do this out of all the times. You know, it's just weird. Yeah, like, I wouldn't say it's a pet peeve, but I just find it like extraordinary how people can do that. Again, it doesn't freak me out to the sense. I just find it like, it's just why more than anything.
Yeah, I've just thought of one as well while you were talking about that. When you like go into a cashier, regardless of where it is, or you're dealing with some sort of employee where you're going to order something, food, whatever it is, right? And they feel the need to ask you how your day is, and they clearly don't give a shit how your day is. I don't care about their day. They don't care about mine. I'm here to get an item. I'm paying you for a service, whatever it is, whether I'm in Argos, fucking Tesco, whatever it is, or getting petrol, whatever it is. And yeah, petrol stations is the worst. Mostly because at petrol stations, you want to be in and out, you want to get your petrol, pay for it and go, especially if you're on the way home or on the way work in the morning, whatever it is, right? And then the guy's like, how's your day going in the UK? He's like, you don't care? Why are you asking me? It's wasting my time. Just let me buy the stuff and leave. Thank you. So it just does my head in. They do it a lot, like McDonald's and stuff, and it's just like, how's your day going in the UK? Like, you don't care? Why are you asking me? Can you just say hi? Like, say welcome to McDonald's and do the spiel. You don't have to ask me how my day is, because that's inviting a conversation you don't actually want to start. Do you know what I mean? And then it just makes it awkward when you're like, oh great, and then like waiting for you to ask theirs, and you're like, I don't care. I'm here to buy food. So, why is this now a thing? What's going on? So every time I go to McDonald's now, I use the touchpads, because bearing in mind I haven't been to McDonald's for quite a while now, but when I used to go, I'd use the touchpads just to save that interaction, because it's just so awkward. And every time I go shopping, I go do self-service just to save that weird interaction when you're like the belts of the tills. Yeah. And you shopping, 100%. And they're like, oh, how's your day been? Oh, is that your daughter? Oh, how what are you asking me? Just scan the stuff, take my money, be polite. That's all you have to do. You don't have to start pretend to be interested in what I did last week on the weekend and what I've had for breakfast. Like, no one really cares. I don't get why this is even a thing now. Why people are starting conversations for half a minute? Because as soon as they're finished scanning your stuff and as soon as you pay, they're just like, fuck off, we're done. Mid-conversation, you're talking about your great auntie and what present she got last week for her birthday, and she's just like, no, we're done now, you've had to pay for life, fuck off. It's like, you've started a conversation. I don't get it. Oh, yeah, that really bothers me, actually. I can't believe I forgot about that one. I'm glad I got that in right at the end. But,
I'd like to apologise for any of the key workers that are working here. I'm sure he doesn't mean to refer you to get past your time.
No, I don't. That's annoying. Just let me buy my stuff, thanks. It's fine. I do self-service, so I'm not actually targeting the key workers because I never speak to them anymore. I just go to the computer instead. But hey,
one thing I will say though, because I do use self-checkout. Before we end this, one more thing, I guess, because we're there now. We're there. We're in the safe zone. Simply, we did it. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
Wow. More enthusiasm.
Whoa.
Jesus. There we go. I think this literally happened last week. I brought this new headset and it had like a protection thing on it, like a disc thing on it. Now, I am well aware that not every person in that shop will know how to take that thing off because it was very specific. So only a specific person would know. And that was the only thing I wanted to have in the store. So she came over and like she did the thing, blah, 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 did the permission thing, but she had to take the thing off. So did all the self-checkout thing, took it to the customer service thing, and I was just waiting it, and she didn't know how to do it, and she was struggling, and I can tell that she was getting embarrassed because she started to look like a tomato. And basically she was like, oh, excuse me one minute, I'm just going to ask. I was like, yeah, no, don't take your time. And then another person came over. They didn't know how to do it, and they did try. They were literally trying, and and they were being very apologetic. I said, "That's fine. Take your time. Take your time. I'm not in a rush. Please do." And then a third person came over, who looked much less experienced than both of them combined. Did it in like a split second, and like everyone was praising her, like, "Good job!" And it's like she says. And then one of them went over to me, "Imagine having 3 people to work on this, and I'm really sorry." I was like, "Oh, don't worry, I've seen worse." And then she laughed, and I laughed. The moral of the story is, I got my headset, so I understand. Moral of the story is, be nice to some of these people, because I know some people are such impatient fuckers. They are human beings too. And just saying, it has nothing to do with Simply Story, by the way, because some of them do just literally just talk to you. It's like, yeah, I want to go now. But obviously, if there's a situation that they're trying to handle to help you, just be kind. Don't be an impatient prick. Just, key workers. They've been working. You've probably been scratching your ball sack during this pandemic. Just patience. Anyway, so yeah. Just be nice to your key workers, but at the same time, please don't tell us your life stories, because we don't care. Okay?
And on that note, that was episode 9, and thank you for listening, watching, and all the rest of it. Remember to subscribe, like, follow, and share on the YouTubes. We now have a separate page. We finally sorted it out, so remember to go subscribe on there, because that's a brand new page. We want to try and get the numbers up on that if we can.
Yes. So basically, we are officially putting all the podcasts onto this channel now, so you won't be seeing them on our separate channels, yes. Right? So, so if you do enjoy these podcasts, and if anyone that you guys know from either from Simply's side or my side, we're both connected to each other, but obviously we still do our own separate things. Just gather a lot of people that you think that would enjoy these podcasts, because it would be greatly appreciated to this new channel that we have, Simply Opinionated.
Yeah, because a lot of time goes into the editing and the recording, so it'd be much appreciated if you could share it out as much as possible. As usual, all of the links will be in the description box below. We will see you guys next week. We'll probably be, in fact, I might even be able to get this episode out in the same week as I do the other one if I pull my hand out my ass. So hopefully we'll see you guys next week for episode 10, and we'll try and get a guest if we can. I'd like to try and get a guest for the next one. That'd be cool, I think. So thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.